there's rarely a time where I don't think about archery.
Archery has so much potential because anyone can do it, you know, young, old, male or female.
Now is the time. Okay? Joe McDonald, the Canadian coach, is the Yoda of archery.
My name is Joe McDonald and I'm a level 4 archery coach in Canada.
So very fast, so very fast.
We've had the new Robin Hood movie with Russell Crowe. Avatar has archers in it. There's a Cadillac commercial that has archery featured in it, and there's a lot of bows and arrows getting out there.
The bow and arrow is something we always needed as a human species to survive. Let's face it, all of our ancestors used this device. And now we don't necessarily need it, but strangely, it's still a part of who we are.
It's gonna sound cheesy, but there are times when I feel like I've got some kind of a connection to the people who have been shooting bows for literally thousands and thousands of years. There's something that just feels right about it, like it's in our DNA at this point.
So very fast, so very fast. Took a spade and I made a ditch. Stuck my head in and buried it. Blind is bliss.
I want people to say my name and think of archery in Canada.
Classical sports, they never go out of style. I think that's what I like about it.
Archery is one of the dirtiest sports you could possibly get into. First of all, the targets, and they have been called this for years and years and years, the targets are called butts. So you are shooting at butts. The technical term for this part of the arrow is a shaft. So you're constantly removing shafts from butts. If you are having difficulty getting your shafts out of the butts, you can get some arrow lube. This happens to be Woody's arrow lube.
It's a connection to the past. We'll probably never ever stop playing musical instruments or stop dancing, and I have a feeling we'll probably never ever stop the sport of archery. We need some sports journalists that don't look at archery as, oh geez, you know, we'll put that over here with ping pong and billiards. No, we're a real sport, and it's a single execution sport. That's the problem, because it just looks too easy, like anyone can do it. An athlete is trying to send a projectile from point A to point B and do it with precision. And we don't necessarily need to be the fastest and strongest to do it. Of course, we just have to have the technique to do that properly. So if somehow we can make the general public understand this takes a lot of skill and a lot of time to get good at. In any activity, you're always learning, and any sport is always evolving. Both the equipment and techniques. You're going to hear Joe McDonald's name pop up a lot, because why she's such a valuable mentor is she's been in archery since the beginning of our generation, our modern time. She's been around since there was wooden arrows and just wooden bows, before aluminum and carbon fiber existed. So it's cool to learn archery from someone that has been there for this last 60 years of intense evolution.
I coach at the archers from the beginner level through to the international level, and I'm often the coach of national teams and the Olympic Games. London will be my 5th Olympics.
It started really as a vision as a child. Every time you watch Robin Hood or something like that, or any good movie, you know, any, of course, medieval type movie, there's going to be archery. So that's the first way I got involved. That's what intrigued me.
The most famous question a beginner will ask their coach is, how do I aim? It's a great question. It tells you you're engaged, it tells you you want to learn, but it's a very complicated question to answer.
It's frustrating at first, and you're not always going to hit the middle, but if you keep on trying and keep on shooting, then you're going to keep hitting the middle.
you never really stop learning. You can't really look at an athlete as a coach and say, oh, okay, we're done now. I've only known Crispin 3 years now, and I have a feeling he hasn't lost focus. And in any sport, that's hard for, in our day and age with so many distractions and,
I'm currently 26 years old. I've been shooting for almost 13 years now in the sport of archery. I actually started shooting about a week before the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, and I just got interested and I got inspired by the Olympics and said one day I want to go to the Olympics for archery. I picked up my recurve or my Olympic bow and started shooting, and by pure luck the Olympic coach was there that day. And she saw me shooting and said, that kid looks like he might have potential.
I just watched for a while. It's interesting because I tried to stand far enough away so he wouldn't know I was watching, but I failed. 3 weeks after we started to work together, I left for a month and went to Sydney for the Olympics. And while I was there, I had an email from him, and he had competed in the provincial championships in his age category and shot a score in the FIDA 1440 round of over 1200. So that's a benchmark level. When I got that email, I remember distinctly getting it and gasped. It never occurred to me that anybody would shoot a score at that level so soon.
2 years after I had started, I was already on my first junior world team, and I competed at my junior world championships as a 16-year-old, and I placed 7th in the world. Being in high school, I mean, I know a lot of kids in high school are usually out and hanging out with friends, going to the movies, going out to party or doing whatever. Usually after school I was jetting out of there as quickly as I could so I could meet my parents at home and they could drive me to the range. Friday nights was another archery night that I had, so a lot of friends would say, you want to go out to the movies, you want to do something after? And I would say, I can't because I have to go to shoot. I lost a lot of friends in high school because of that, but it also showed me who was willing to understand what I had to go through to be the type of athlete that I am now today.
He was very serious right from 12 years old, and his ambition, I don't think, has let up since.
I've been trying very hard to make a name for archery for Canadians.
Our country is, of course, known for producing some of the world's best hockey players, and we know that, okay, to the point where we're maybe a little arrogant of that. But archery is something, it's just not given enough credit.
I want to be able to step onto an international archery field and be one of the guys to look for. I want people to say my name and think of archery in Canada and think of one of the great archers in Canada. So that would be a great thing for me to achieve on the international scene. And I've already started doing that with medals at World Cups, medals at World Archery Festivals. I've come top 10 at World Championships numerous times. So people already start to look for the Canadian archers, whereas before we had some strong bases but not so strong. It's never been really consistent, but I've tried to make it consistent throughout the years and show that Canada is an archery powerhouse and that we are coming out here to get medals, and we're not just going to be, Canada, we're going to settle for 4th. No, I want to get medals.
In our country, for him to do what he has done is extraordinary. It's extraordinary that he's been able to keep his goal in mind, and I'm really hoping that I can hold a real Olympic medal from Crispin from this summer.
Right now it's a big part of my life, and I'm hoping that, God willing, it'll be a bigger part of my life in the future. I really want to get a gold medal in the Olympics, and if not a gold medal, then just a medal. That's a life goal of mine. I guess I won't feel complete until I have an Olympic medal.